time for Media Watch now. James Creedon is with us in the studio. And James, first of all, we're going to talk about the reaction to a new president being elected in Somalia. No ordinary election, it would seem.
That's right, and people really excited on social media about the result. Many feeling that it's a candidate that is really supported by the vast majority of Somali people. So just a quick run through some of the reactions. You can see here, money didn't win today. Hopefully this is a new start to change that in celebration of the election of Mr. Farmajo. And you can see not just in Somalia, but images being tweeted from neighbouring Nairobi, where in the Eastleigh district you have a huge population of Somali immigrants. And there were images going up on social media, both in video and photograph form, showing people actually thronging the streets of that district of Nairobi in celebration at this result. Of course, the election took place in a very tense situation. There were fears that Al-Shabaab might strike, that there might be a terrorist attack, and indeed it was in the confines of the airport that the actual vote took place, with some people saying, well, if a capital city is under lockdown, this part of Mogadishu, during the election, then what will this mean for what the president-elect will have to contend with once he gets into office? So some saying really it's a bit of a worry that the election had to take place in those sort of conditions. Absolutely. Elsewhere, when people choose leaders based on nepotism and tribalism, they will surely drown in the ocean of destruction and division. That is a reference to the fact that a lot of people voted along tribal or clan-like lines.
Well, it was tribal leaders that chose the lawmakers who then chose from 23 presidential candidates. Right. However, that is an improvement, experts say, from what happened a few years ago when there were just a few hundred.
Right, and I guess perhaps it's just a recognition of the fact that this is the way in which Somali society functions. It is on the basis of clans, and you have to integrate that into the electoral process.
Well, there hasn't been a one person, one vote system in place for decades, since 1969, I think. Staying with the online reaction, the online buzz around this, if you like, there was a hashtag, wasn't there? Somalia decides, which
that was really the one to follow, I think, throughout the
Some people in Somalia decides.
That's right, and people tweeting in English, but also in other languages as well, using that hashtag. Just a couple more comments on it. Hope he stands up to Somalia's many enemies. He has the public on his side. Really, this was the message coming through very strongly on social media, that this could potentially be a new dawn and a new beginning, because this is somebody who was chosen with the support of the people. I have a dream that the once troubled Somalia, full of political instability and bloodshed, will heal and peace be restored.
It is a country with a lot of problems and an uphill battle for the president there. But anyway, he's been elected today. Let's move to the United States, somewhere that the Somali president wouldn't be able to go under Donald Trump's travel ban.
Good point. One of the 7 countries on that ban.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren. She's been very vocal, hasn't she, during all the very controversial confirmation hearings of Donald Trump's nominees to his cabinet, and she is particularly opposed to the prospective Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and she stood up and she read out a letter, didn't she, that was written by Martin Luther King's wife 30 years ago.
That's right, because even then Martin Luther King's wife was opposed to Jeff Sessions receiving a federal judgeship. And so she tried to read out this letter. She was essentially silenced using a kind of an arcane, what's been described as an archaic rule, really, that is almost never invoked, and many saw it as an act of censorship. Now, the Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, said she was warned, she was given an explanation, in other words, why she should stop reading out this letter. And nevertheless, she persisted. I suppose the Republicans would argue that this is taking up too much time. They want to get through the procedure, etc. But from the point of view of Elizabeth Warren, she wanted to read out this letter, and she should have been allowed to do so. That is the letter in question. In any case, the irony of all of this is the words used by Mitch McConnell, nevertheless she persisted, have now been appropriated by Twitter users, and it has become a hashtag in praise of Elizabeth Warren's sort of, I suppose...
and Let Liz Speak is something.
Let Liz Speak, exactly, is another one. So you have images of Rosa Banks, you have images of Malala, and other images of I suppose, feminists really going across social media in other acts of persistence that are seen as something quite positive, not something negative. Even Bernie Sanders tweeted saying, when I read the same letter, he read out that same letter in the Senate, no one prevented me from speaking. So as you said as well, there was also Let Liz Speak being used as one of the hashtags. And you know what? She even persisted on Facebook Live, where she completed reading out that letter in another forum, and she got some 6 million plus views. So maybe she got even more views because of having been silenced.
Well, right. I mean, this certainly brought attention to it, whereas otherwise it might have gone unnoticed.
It probably wouldn't have got into Media Watch anyway, or Facebook Live.
What more could she hope for? Elizabeth Warren. Thank you very much indeed, James.
Thanks
James Phelan there with Media Watch.